Okay, hello everyone. I'm Mansoor Jamshed. Thank you for joining in. We had a meeting at 8:30, so I would just briefly like to introduce myself. I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm also an assistant professor, and I've been working in the field for the past 8 years. And today is World Mental Health Day. So what we are doing is that we're just having an interaction about how mental health is in terms of workplace, because that is the theme that was decided by World Health Organization today. So we are going to talk about how can we prioritize mental health in workplace, but through the lens of a mental health professional. So how do they navigate the system? How do they prioritize not just for themselves, but also for the larger audience and their employees as well? And what are the challenges that they have faced? So that is the main discussion today. I would like to briefly, I would like to actually invite the members. Akashji, would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm audible.
Yes, you are, please.
Yeah, hi, this is Akash, and I am a mental health professional, and I'm the founder of a mental health NGO that goes by the name Home of Beautiful Souls Foundation. And I have been working in this field since past 5 years, and currently I'm working as a psychology teacher when I work with clients
I think there's
with
some network
who,
issue. Yeah. Akashi, can you repeat
yeah, I'm
the
audible.
last few seconds? You were not audible.
Okay, yeah,
Can you
sure.
repeat the last few
So
seconds? Yeah.
yeah, as I was saying that I have been working in this field since past 5 years, and currently I'm working as a psychology teacher in a school setting. And I have had clients of all the ages, and I have been using various modules, including CBT and DBT, primarily with my clients. So I prefer to have an eclectic approach with them.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. I would like to take a moment also invite Tilottama ji. She's also a clinical psychologist. Would you like to briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi Mansoor. I'm Tilottama. I'm a clinical psychologist and I'm a practicing art therapist as well. Currently, I'm practicing in Bangalore and I'm feeling really glad to be here. My expertise in working with child population and I'm currently working on couple therapy as well. So that is what my area of interest and I'm looking forward for this talk about prioritizing our mental health at workplace. So thank you so much for inviting.
It's my pleasure. I would like to invite Akashi to share a little bit about how he has been navigating what are the challenges in school setup related to mental health. If you can actually share that kind of experience, I think it would really help for the other members to connect with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it's been few months since I have joined a school as a psychology teacher, and unfortunately, we don't have any counselor appointed there. So that's the primary issue that students face, not having a professional to reach out and in times where they need an adult to not just support them but also guide them and, if possible, provide them professional help. Yes, there are many schools who provide counselors or appoint counselors, but they are mainly academic counselors who are unfortunately not trained, not a lot of times experienced or have the expertise to help those kids. So in certain situations, all they can do is probably reach out to their teachers who, again, unfortunately, are not trained to identify the issues that kids go through. For example, one of the instances that had recently come up with was that a child, probably, probably of just 14 years, and the child was in 10th standard and were cutting themselves. Uh, how the management responded was that either the teachers would observe or directly the child's parent would be informed about the same. However, though there was no investigation involved in it, the child was not provided a safe space because there was again a lack of a professional counselor or a psychologist or a clinical psychologist in the premises. In such situations, the children have nowhere to go no professional to reach out, and as we can see that they would randomly Google certain things or just find certain profiles on social media and reach out to them, which can be detrimental in long term. So these are some of the core issues that I have experienced as a psychology teacher working in a school setup.
I think I completely get that. I think children are sometimes very vulnerable, especially when they have to deal with their own mental health crisis and without any support. So, one thing probably on the other side is that the teacher has to take more, load or work and understanding. Probably they don't have that kind of expertise, but because of the lack of
Hmm.
resources, they have to end up, providing support, emotional and otherwise, to a student who is
Hmm.
going through a difficult time. Uh, I think understanding all of this, national education policy has also looked into these aspects and has made it
Yeah,
compulsory to actually have a counselor. But I can see
true.
probably from your experience as well that some schools are taking their time to accept that mental health or counselors in their school setup is probably not a very core part of it. And
True.
some schools might still take time to actually accept the role of a counselor in a school. So, and
Uh,
uh, it has been prioritized by NIMHANS as well through a school mental health program. So just remember that as well. But thank you for sharing. I can understand how difficult it might be for a student to actually navigate without any support system. Yeah. So, Tilottama ji, would you like to share something about workplace that you are in and how the atmosphere of the environment is there?
Okay. So currently where I'm working, it's a wonderful place. I have a very flexible timing. I can choose how many slots I can take in one day. I can be flexible whenever I want to. So mental health in my workplace, or if not, I can say my workplace, if something we have to talk about where we have to support the clients, right? And we also need to recognize how crucial is for us as a mental health professionals. So today as a day prioritizing the mental health of workplace environment, I believe that maintaining our own mental health is very important well-being. Also, it's important where we are providing the best care to those we serve. So we often feel sometimes burnout, some emotional exhaustions that can affect anyone, I believe, and they can be especially common in mental health professional setting due to the nature of our work. So right now, what I'm facing is it's very flexible, it's very comfortable environment I'm working in. But yes, absolutely, the very first time where I work, there are a lot of cases, 10 to 12 cases per day. I have to take a lot of case histories, even I have to do assessments at the same time, giving the reports at the same time. So that is where I face challenge. But Udhar bhi, where I was working, I was doing my MPhil. So I think that was enrooted in us somewhere कि if you are a mental health student, if you are pursuing MPhil, you have to do it. There's no other way,
Yeah.
right? So as a mental health professional, we often expected to be the stronger ones, always available, always composed, which can make it very difficult to admit when we need help. So when I am going through certain challenges, for me, where I'm overextended my work hours, I do also take therapy. So that is my coping. Taking therapy, taking supervision, peer groups, facing what I am facing, sharing with my loved ones, with my supervisors, that really helps me. So that is the right support system for my mental health, which is what I can include here.
Yeah, I think I'm so glad that you acknowledge this. I think it takes a lot of courage to actually share that even mental health professionals can also have a difficult time and at the same time probably seeking support. It is. I think we can also lead by example that it's not just about maintaining a perfect mental health, but also reaching out for the support when it is important. So I'm very glad
Exactly,
that.
because I think I am also, I believe the human first,
Mhm.
and second, I am a psychologist. So
Yeah.
that's a wonderful thing I can do for myself.
Yeah, I think that really keeps us grounded the way you are sharing it. Okay, so just one thing I wanted to, because I think people are joining from different regions and different professions as well. So, is there some kind of suggestion that you would like to give for a person who is actually facing a lot of difficulties and trying to maintain their mental health, but it is really concerning for them? So, any kind of suggestion? Akash ji, can you probably go ahead first? Any suggestion from your end that you would like to give? that they can
Yeah.
do to maintain
Uh,
their mental health?
yeah. The very primary thing, the base that I set up with my clients whenever they begin their journey with me is that I let them know that they deserve to be loved, they deserve to be cared, they deserve to be prioritized, they deserve to be valued uh, every single day. Because a lot of times what happens is that we cannot accept that we need help in the first place, or it is so deeply rooted in our mind or in our psyche that we there's something wrong within us, you know, and so we don't deserve that help. So I just want to let everyone who is watching this right now or who would be watching this in the future that you deserve help, you deserve love, you deserve kindness, you deserve support. That's where it all begins. Once you believe that you deserve it, once you believe that you're capable, you have the potential, once you believe that all the difficulties that you're experiencing, all of it may not be your fault. There are certain things that are out of your control, and while you cannot do anything about them, probably you can work on your resilience. Probably you can work on developing resources for yourself. This is where you can initially begin your journey. That has been my
Right,
key
right,
helping my
absolutely.
clients.
Yeah, I think yeah. So what you're saying actually is making a lot of sense. And what I also wanted to say is that, the company's work culture sometimes pushes you to extreme end, that you have to actually give in more hours, that you have to work and you have to be, just
Mm,
available at times, even when you are probably going through a very difficult time yourself. But the mental health, when it comes probably to the mental health aspect of an employee, what I have personally observed is that that is individualized. That is not systemic anymore. So
yeah.
that you have to deal on yourself with yourself. Probably you're not strong enough to actually be in a work culture and all of that. So I think a better integrated employee centric model might really help the employees to also feel a valuable part of the entire organization. And probably the organization can also look into some kind of accountability to what they are doing actually, that is also, impacting the individual's present time. So that is just probably one of the takes that we can approach from a different angle. Okay, thank you, Akashi. I'll just would like to ask Tilottama ji as well. Would you like to give any suggestion to someone who is going through a difficult time in their workplace?
Yeah, so for me, I think maintaining that boundaries, both with your clients, both with your personal lives, with your occupational life, is much important. So, जो हम बात करते हैं maintaining work-life balance is not just a talking. It's about setting your limitations, your availability towards your clients, towards your company. As you said, it's more system. It's not systematic. It's not individualized. Basically, एक company oriented होता है somewhere. So we need
Hmm.
to take care of ourselves, that how much load we can take, from where we need to say no, where we need to maintain the boundaries. So I'll give you my real life example. It just happened 2 days back. I don't know about the corporate
Hmm.
so much, but I can have this experience. So there is one of my clients. They are from UAE. So
Hmm.
their time is like 2.5 or 2 hours beside us. So they are available at 8:30.
Hmm.
So they were trying to make me push the sessions Indian time 8:30,
Uh,
which is I'm not comfortable in. I
hmm.
clearly stated that because I have to have my well-being and my family time, of course. So that is not my takeaway. So there we need to say no sometimes. If we are taking it, we may find temporarily, okay, I can do it. But in later run, if you have to work with that client, if you have that rapport, what if you have to continue with that client? You have to be there at 8:30. So I believe that initial me, if you set clear boundaries, maintaining your work life, engaging in your reflection every day, what you have done. So basically, we study, right? There are three parts of our life. There is valuable activities, pleasurable activities, there are mastery. So we need to somewhere balance those energies into
Yeah.
three compartments.
Hmm.
So अगर मैं मेरी बात करूँ, if I am taking regular sessions, continuous sessions, so that 15-minute breaks we can do certain grounding, we can have breathing, we can change our environment, we can just have a cup of tea or anything to make us feel grounded. And not, that transitional phase at least, कि हाँ एक सेशन के बाद नेक्स्ट सेशन देयर इज सम ट्रांजिशन एंड ब्रीदिंग स्पेस. So practicing small breathing, mindfulness, setting boundaries, even the smallest break if we can take, so the micro breaks can really be helpful to prevent burnout in a longer run. This is what I believe.
I think I absolutely agree with that. Probably creating boundaries on an initial level will really help to, make it easier for you to stay where you are. At the same time, to make the other person understand, okay, I'm not going to push my boundaries just because you have different priorities. And as mental health professionals, I can understand because when we offer space of acceptance and non-judgmentalness, it is sometimes tricky to actually also understand where to draw the boundary. So it is not the same. So these are two different concepts, and probably a well-practiced person or experienced person understands, okay, this is not what non-judgmentalness or acceptance looks like. That I have to stick to my schedule. Yeah. So
Mansoor, can I ask you one question?
please.
How you maintain your coping or the challenges? Of course, you may also have faced some challenges in your working space. How do you manage it, or how you cope up with these kind of clients, or maybe the environment, the toxic, or if not toxic, anything if you want to share?
To be very honest, it has been challenging at times. It's not that easy. But I think with the right kind of social support and understanding, where you need to reach out to others, probably just have a nice evening with friends. Although it might not look like much, but what I have understood is that it really gives me the resilience to actually, go to the next day, and it really marks the difference from one day to the next. I have seen that when I'm over invested in my work, probably working more hours than what is required, and not realizing how much time I have devoted, it just forms that I'm dragging myself to the next day, and I did not get the needed break, which was important. And probably when I'm going out with family and even exercising a little bit, it really helps me to actually, be anchored throughout the day. It just feels different. And reading a that works for me. I don't know whether it will, but reading really keeps me centered at times.
So I believe, yeah, we all have some days where we are focusing on our work more, less to the family. Sometimes we need to give more time to the family, less time to our work. It
Absolutely.
goes that.
One last thing I wanted to ask before we, invite other panelists as well. Would you like to share anything about your initiatives because you are doing wonderful work? Akashi, I would like to start with you. Is there any? I have heard a lot about your organization. Would you like to share briefly about what you're working? Anything related to that?
So, uh, I started this mental health NGO 5 years back, and my purpose of starting this initiative was uh, because I am a survivor myself. And because I am a survivor myself, I take it as my primary lens that I see other people through the lens of empathy.
Hmm.
Uh, so what I wanted to do was that after having worked with a lot of clients, after having been in the system for so long, I realized that there were a lot of gaps in the system. For example, if you are working with a therapist, you are in a therapy session. Your therapist can be your best friend, but you can't
Hmm.
be even a friend to a therapist, right?
Hmm.
And when you struggle, let's say, with loneliness, you
Hmm.
need people to share that same equation. You
Right.
need people to have that balance in that relationship with you, right? Especially when a therapist has a power equation with you. So
Hmm.
just to fill those gaps, we started this NGO where we had peer support groups, where we have RCA licensed clinical psychologists, where we have psychiatrists, and we my primary role as a founder is not to act as a therapist with majority of my clients. I
Hmm.
believe I am a therapist for that. My primary role is of that of a caregiver. I